Ben, a really good 1-0 win at Bognor today. Thursday night of training, there wasn't a lot of kind of stuff on the pitch, but you went through some bits with the players and videos, and some of the stuff that was pointed out there, put into action today, first class, I thought.
Yeah, I said that to Steve last week. I said Thursday was quite crucial for us in terms of doing a few bits off the pitch. I think it was just as important. I think we got the group together. We had a big old call it analysis session, which you sat in on, which gave you a bit of an insight into what we're trying to change and implement. And we, off the back of that, I don't think we could have asked more of the boys, because we can do that till the cows come home and talk and change things, but unless they really believe in it and buy into what we're doing, it means nothing really. So a lot of credit has to also go to the boys, and the way that they've put in our ideas that we went over Thursday. One of the messages today was make the clean sheet your focus, because we score goals we don't need to worry about in terms of going forward. Everybody knows it's glaringly obvious that the defensive side had to shore itself up, and the focus today was a clean sheet, because then you go home with something at the bare minimum. And we've come home with 3 points.
Really thin squad, stretched today. There was 2 on the bench. Last time we had 2 on the bench was Moneyfields, which wasn't as good as today by any stretch. So just talk us through kind of availability and such like it.
Well, listen, we're squad's been stretched for a while. We've brought 3 or 4 in, and the problem is that we've faced all season. We bring 3 in and lose 4, or we bring 4 in and lose 5. It's just that, we had 2 pull out the squad yesterday from injury, so we got 6 injured and 1 suspended. So that's just where we're at. What people won't know is that the IFAS system that allows you to register players for today's game was down yesterday, so we couldn't make the signings that we were planning to yesterday. Poor Jeremy was getting it in the ear from me all day, and he couldn't do it. So that's it's just what we were served up today. We don't choose to come with 2 subs. We don't want to come with 2 subs, not by any means. But that's just what the footballing gods threw at us today. So listen, the boys dealt with that brilliantly. We ended up not actually using any subs. I just think the way the game was going, we had so many players that were doing their jobs perfectly that we didn't really want to upset that. So obviously credit to Toby and Benji in terms of the travel and being part of the squad, but that's what having a squad is. So hopefully this week we might have a couple that return, but Sophie's a busy girl at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So going into a little run of games now of sides below us in the league, which obviously on paper you think, that's a real opportunity to kind of push on and move away from that kind of bottom third of the table, but clearly, and it's the thing we've been lacking all season, is the consistency of performance. So taking today forward, what's going to be the focus in midweek and training?
Well, I think our focus has to remain the same as today. I think it's a message that's been given to the changing room very, very clearly in terms of their defensive structure. We've made a couple of tweaks to it, not too many, but I think what was glaringly obvious on Thursday was it wasn't down to poor shape from us. I think it was just or the shape hurting ourselves. I think it was mainly how certain players in certain positions were not playing the shape correctly. And that's been homed in on Thursday. We've got a blank week next week where we can go Tuesday, Thursday and keep relaying that message, because like you say, or I say, we score goals. So as long as we get the bottom end of the pitch correct, we're going to pick up points without no issues. So I think just the message has to just keep being reiterated, but that one thing I do have to say is in regards to that defensive structure. I think again, not many people will see Justin. Obviously, since he's come in, I do have to give him a lot of thanks and credit, because it's been an area of the pitch that he's homed in on for us. And a lot of the work he's done behind the scenes in terms of this week, clipping 16 of our last goals conceded for the boys to watch back, giving them a few kind of personal targets, and allowing me to see the bigger picture, and he can kind of focus on that area. So I've got to give a lot of credit to Justin, because since he's come in, he's really helped us, and especially this week, he's been massive.
It's a really good few days' work, mate. Well done. Enjoy
Thank you, mate.
Your evening at Butlins.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate it.